Yo, what is up, guys? We have a lot to discuss in this video, honestly, and we're gonna try to get it all done in short amount of time. So I hope you guys stay tuned. You stay through the video, help me get the watch time and shit. But I wanted to talk about Daniel Bryan, and we're gonna start off right off with Daniel Bryan. We're gonna talk about SummerSlam. We're gonna talk about AW Blood and Guts. The notes from that, the ratings, and this and that. And we got some news on Becky Lynch that I don't hear people talking about, and I guess it's you'll see. But we got all of that, but I was thinking about, all right, let's just talk about Daniel Bryan, but it was just a big week and a lot of stuff to cover, and I want you guys to be informed. So let's get to this. I hope you guys support the channel by leaving a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, turn the notification bell on. Now, let's start off with the biggest headline. So in case you guys weren't aware, it was on like Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, I think it was Wednesday morning. Sean Ross Sapp, Wednesday morning, very early, like 12 a.m. Sean Ross Sapp, I seen it on his shit. Sean Ross Sapp was reporting about Daniel Bryan. I was like, alright, whatever the fuck. And then I get the notes from that news report, and it was essentially saying that the whole storyline with Daniel Bryan leaving SmackDown, no, he actually left WWE. His contract expired, right? So then you get this tweet from Wrestling News Co. WWE has been trying since last year to get Daniel Bryan to sign a new contract. The deal expired on Friday night at midnight. So I guess they gave him a little going away gift, then the president, whatever fucking. So that was that, right? So I was like, holy shit. Everyone's shocked and shit. Was like, oh, he's a free agent now, and everyone's speculating. So let me just pretty much read this, and then I'm going to give you, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. So pretty much this is also from Wrestling News.co. They shared an update on Daniel Bryan's status. And like when this dropped later on in the day, everyone started reporting it. Like, this is huge headline. So this is not a storyline. This is for real shit, right? So check this out. So I guess this was on a source close to Vince or whatever. There is no bad blood, no grudge from either side, and Vince thinks he will be back, but he just needs time to recharge his batteries. One source tells the site. The site goes on to explain that money isn't believed to be an issue. That is obvious. And that Bryan is happy now with how the company has treated him since he was cleared to return to action back in 2018. We are ready to have him back in a big match at SummerSlam, they know. Vince loves the guy, and he has a full-time job behind the scenes ready for him when the time comes for him to return. This is obvious that because he was a SmackDown, he fucked with SmackDown. So pretty much then they talk about that the only issue that WWE could run into is that the fact that Daniel Bryan is really keen on wrestling outside of the company. So this alright, so that's pretty much all we have so far. There's no news on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is pretty much a guy who's to himself. He's a guy to himself, for the most part. You don't hear him talk. You know, like a couple weeks ago, he said that he wants to be a guy that he's employed to WWE, but he wants to do work outside of WWE. Like he wants to have some matches. So he wants to do like what AEW does with New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. He wants to have a partnership, right? But obviously this is WWE, so they were never going to allow that to happen. So, and Daniel Bryan didn't give a shit about MLW, I guess. But, so, my thing is that, you know, there was another article. There was another thing. Well, I think that was the same thing I'm talking about. Daniel Bryan said that he wants to, he wants to wrestle outside of WWE. He wants to do those matches, right? And then there was a couple weeks later or something, or a week later, he was talking about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. It is very apparent that Daniel Bryan wants to have fun and do shit outside of WWE. It's very apparent. It's very apparent. Right? He made it clear in the articles, you know, in his interviews and shit like that. I want to wrestle outside of here and do this and do that. And so this report, right? This report saying that touching on the issue that I would have said, I've been saying this. The only issue WWE could run into is the fact that Daniel Bryan is keen to wrestle outside of WWE, and money's not an issue, right? Money's not an issue for him. That is so abundantly clear, bro. And this shit says WWE has been trying to sign Daniel Bryan, but he said, fuck no. He's obviously been declining. So people are like, nah, Daniel Bryan's gonna go to, he's gonna fuck around and re-sign again. You're wrong and you're right. And I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong and you're right. You're wrong because if Daniel Bryan was going, Daniel Bryan would have re-signed by now. If Daniel Bryan was staying with WWE, he would have re-signed by now. WWE would have thrown the bag. They would have thrown the bag at Daniel Bryan. All the money, they would have thrown it at him. And he would have accepted. But he clearly didn't. You know, if he was to leave SmackDown, he would have been on Raw. And he was on SmackDown. So, and he wasn't on NXT. So, no Daniel Bryan. So, you know, so, and with his words, I think that he wants to do a final tour outside of WWE. And I don't think he's going to sign a contract with anyone. He's going to freelance. He's going to show up in AEW. He's going to maybe show up in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know, because he's got a family. But AEW for sure. If he's not in AEW, I'd be surprised, because they're in Florida. They're in the United States. It's very easy. You know, he was in Florida with WWE, so I don't see why not. New Japan Pro Wrestling could be a different story unless they have matches in the U.S. Then yeah, he'll fight someone from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He wants to do a final tour. He wants to do the final thing, I think. So I think that he won't be exclusive. He'll be a freelancer, and he's going to do his thing, and then he'll go back to WWE. He'll go back to WWE, to be honest. So there you go. But I think that I don't think he's really recharging. I think he wants to do fun stuff outside of WWE. And there's this other one. There's this other thing, and I honestly might as well just cover it now, and I'll just lead you back to the Daniel Bryan stuff. But if you guys didn't know, AEW had their blood and guts, right? So we're just gonna go over the ratings. We're not gonna talk about the ending. I already discussed the ending multiple fucking times. So let's start in order. So The ratings were, overall, they had 1.09 million viewers, but they were number one in the demo. But they were they had a 0.01 advantage in the 50 plus, which is shocking to me in the demo. So that's crazy. But then the Blood and Guts match did like 1.2 million. So the Blood and Guts match itself had more people watching than the overall, which I figured. There was no way, right? So those were the ratings. And then we're going to go over the news, like the notes. So the notes said that, this is from, I believe it's PW Insider exclusive, Mike Johnson. So last night's AEW's Blood and Guts match was live, but the remainder of the show was pre-taped. AEW chose to pre-tape the remainder of the show due to the logistics of setting up two cages, so it didn't eat into TV time. AEW offered refunds to fans who came to believe that they were getting a completely live broadcast. This one really pissed me off, to be honest. I guess there were apparently like 5 requests for refunds because I guess they thought, I don't know, man. I don't know, that they thought that it was going to be new. Everything was going to be live, even though. Alright, so at first I didn't understand it, and now I understand it. AEW had announced that Blood and Guts was going to be a one-match show. So that meant live, it was going to be a one-match show. So you can't really blame me, hate on AEW for that. They said it was going to be a one-match show. No one understood, but once they announced more matches, you knew it was going to be a one-match show. And I think even before they said, you heard dirt sheets and shit. They said, oh, this shit's going to be pre-taped. Every match is going to be pre-taped except this. And that's due to logistics. So, before the show, it was noted that Tony Khan addressed the crowd, and he's like, you guys can get a refund. So, not only could you get a refund, but then also you get tickets to next week's show. It was like a fucking package. So, I don't understand fucking people, honestly. So, but whatever. People just love to hate, to be honest. Alright, so the next note is the actual live crowd reactions from the building as they watched the first hour on the big screen were heard on the broadcast, similar to how AEW handled live reactions to the Stadium Stampede match from last year. The Darby Allin bump last night was live as it happened. That segment was not pre-taped, so the Darby Allin bump and Ethan Page promo and Scorpio Sky promo, that was live. So that was nice. More live stuff. That's good. Darby took a crazy fucking fell down the stairs and shit. Ethan Page's crack about Ho and Darby had a history, but no one was watching, was meant to be a shot at Evolve, as he and the then Evolve management had issues when Page departed that now defunct promotion. So this one, Bully Ray was crying about how they used the Impact title. I mean, do I really need to explain to Bully Ray? Do I really need to explain to Bully Ray that that Kenny Omega in AEW is not going to carry the Impact World title on his shoulder? He's not going to give a shit about the Impact title. The title is meaningless anyways. But whatever the fuck. I mean, you could. I don't even know, man. Okay, so here we go. We get into some of the better stuff. Cody Rhodes was busted open hard away during his match with QT Marshall last night, opening up the same place near his eye that has been busted open hard away before. It's a case of the same point being accidentally struck. The blood was not planned. So obviously, they just clarified Cody Rhodes was not supposed to bleed. He bled because it's the same spot he bled before. So there you go. So I was curious why Cody Rhodes was bleeding. That's why he was bleeding. It wasn't planned at all. And then it says, we are told that several talents in the Blood and Guts match were also busted open hard away. So there was far more blood and guts in the match than has been initially intended. So clearly what that means, again, obviously they were bleeding and shit like that, and then they were bleeding, and then there was actual real blood in the match as well. That they were accidentally busted open. And then obviously the last one, we are told that there was no major injuries coming out of the match, but a lot of bumps and bruises. So that's good. No bumps and no injuries. That's good to hear. That's always good to hear. You never want to hear about an injury. Like, that's just very shitty, to be honest. But that's good. There was no injuries. So now we get into the juicy shit, man. The real blood and guts of this video too, as well. Oh my god. Alright, so this is alright, so good. So I could just go to this one. So there was a report going around earlier, not earlier, after Blood and Guts, obviously, like I think it was Friday, that WWE was they were upset with Blood and Guts, and that they thought that Blood and Guts set the pro wrestling business back like 30 years or some shit. Yeah. They thought Blood and Guts was barbaric. They didn't like the blading. They didn't like this. They didn't like that. Oh, man. WWE. This is WWE, man. I have my gripe with WWE always, man. Always. The WWE is the first wrestling promotion I fell in love with, and they were amazing. They were awesome, and now it's just so unbearable. And they're the ones to talk, apparently, I guess. I mean, I don't understand WWE, to be honest. I generally don't. I don't understand WWE, bro. I will never understand WWE right now. At this moment. So they were upset. They said it was barbaric and shit like that. They're doing what they're doing in WWE on Raw and this and that with the dog food and for SmackDown back in like last year. Now they're throwing tomatoes. They have Miz and Morrison in bunny costumes. They have bunnies at WrestleMania. Shout out to Feedy's tweet. Feed for followers. His tweet. WWE does all this stupid shit. And I quote tweeted him. the original article I quote tweeted, like, before another one was dropped, I said some shit like, WWE is the same company. They want to say this shit, but they're the same company that they have, I don't even know how to explain it. They fucking got rid, like, they lose more and more fans. Like, they make more and more people hate wrestling. They turn away more and more wrestling fans by the day, by the week, by the year. They had 6 million viewers at one point. Now they're down to barely hitting 2 million on Raw. More and more people hate wrestling because of WWE, and they think that WWE is the only wrestling out there. Clearly they're talking about casuals. It's to me, it's so stupid. And AEW is absolutely raking it in, and I can read to you if I could find it, some of the stuff, mind you, some of the stuff that they're doing, if I could fucking find it, I wish I could find it for you guys. Oh my god, this shit's pissing me off. Alright, well, I can't find this shit right now, and I'm not about to find it live on here, so, as I'm recording this, but, you know, genuinely, I mean, I gotta find this for you guys. I mean, these are, oh, here we go. So, this was, TNT was celebrating being number one on television. And here are the quick notes, man. AEW Dynamite was the number one program on cable amongst 18 to 49. That's clear. Wednesday's broadcast also averaged 1.1 million total viewers, up 18% from last week. AEW Dynamite has reached 19.1 million viewers so far this year and has the youngest audience in wrestling. So those are the quick statistics. I mean, there's probably more, but that's the quick stuff from TNT. Yeah, guys. I mean, genuinely, AEW, you can say what you want. You say, but Raw gets number one in the shit, so they clearly have a young audience, bro. I mean, genuinely, like, Raw, SmackDown, they've been around for decades and decades, bro. Everyone knows about them. They're gonna have a young audience. They're gonna have this audience, that audience, the 50 plus, the 60 plus, whoever the fuck. WWE is gonna have that shit. But they're still losing viewers. They keep losing viewers, dude. Whether you like to admit it or not. It is amazing. It is amazing how AEW gets fucking younger, not even just younger. They get younger fans and more overall in the ratings than the NBA. Can you please explain to me that? Right? So then you get WWE, when they create something new like they did NXT. NXT's like 30th in the night and they get like 600,000 viewers. This goes to show you that for WWE and Raw and SmackDown, it's just name value. They're just, and it's people having a habit. They have a habit of watching Raw and SmackDown, so they get better views. That's all it is. If you try to get them to watch fucking NXT, no, it's not working. It fucking sucks. They don't like your shit. So, yeah, so that's that. And they genuinely thought that they did something. And they were like, oh, well, this is Barbaric and shit, right? Right? AEW is growing and bringing more fans in, and they're fucking popular right now. At points, more popular than the NBA. Right? They're more popular than the NBA at some point. There's no denying that. They get more views and shit. And then a demo. And so, that's that. Let me see if I can read this shit. Oh my god. So, they said that, oh my god, it set the business back 30 years. How dare you? And then, so then, fucking Dave Scherer of PWI, he was asking, and then some wrestlers in the back in WWE had the opposite reaction, as they would love to see something like that for themselves. They would like to do something like that about blood and guts. And then so this leads me to my point with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is watching AEW since his debut. And he's like, fuck, I want to do something like that. I want to be in AEW. I want to do shit like that. I want to have these dream matches. I want to face Kenny Omega. I want to face Darby Allin. I want to face Sammy Guevara. I want to face this guy, that guy, Jungle Boy. I want to have these fun matches. And look, I agree, there's no bad blood. There's probably no bad blood. But at the same time, Daniel Bryan is no shill like Seth Rollins. And he's like, shit, I want to have fun. I want to do this shit outside of WWE. So, let me leave. So that's that. And I think that there was something with Mark Henry. Mark Henry was saying that on Busted Open Radio that he knew at least 5 guys that were going to be in the free market soon, free agent market, and it was clearly talking about WWE stars. So who the fuck knows? Buddy Murphy or some shit, I don't know. But it's very clear that you're going to see a bunch more people that want to leave WWE. And this brings me to another point. Why in your right mind would you want to leave AEW or not go to AEW? Why would you want to go to WWE? Especially leave AEW to go to WWE? At this point, and I'm going to make a video on this probably, the dream is to go to AEW. You could get around the same amount of money in AEW than you can in WWE, right? Tony Khan, the Khans have, are their net worth are more than Vince McMahon. So you could get around the same amount of money. And then you can also have fun. If you're MJF, and he did an article or whatever, he did an interview, but this was in character. But genuinely, if you're MJF, and you're one of the top stars in AEW, why would you want to go to WWE even if you get more money? You're getting around the same amount of money, maybe slightly less, but you're having fun. You're having fun. It's not a corporation. It's like a fucking family. You're having fun. You feel great. Your gimmick is intact, because in WWE, your gimmick is watered down for sure. Why would you want to leave WWE? I mean, why would you want to leave AEW? And especially go to WWE? Unless AEW has no interest in you, there's no reason why you should go to WWE at this point. Honestly. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if more people left WWE. And looking at all the good times they're seeing their friends and colleagues, they're having fun in another promotion on TV as well. So they're having fun. And that brings me to another point about AEW that we need to discuss. I mean, it's a quick point, but on Busted Open Radio, Papa Khan, Tony Khan, he said that they're gonna do double. I think it's confirmed actually, but don't hold this against me. I'm not sure if it's 100%. I think it is. I think he confirmed it. Double or Nothing will have 100% capacity at what's it called? Daly's Place. So 100% capacity. That's like 5,500 fans at Daly's Place. Obviously, they did this because of the UFC event that had 15,000 fans, but also 100% capacity, and everything was fine. And then also at because of the MGK concert, that was also 100% capacity. So that was 100% capacity, and that was at Daly's Place. So this was like, all right, so if everything's fine, then let's dip our toes. Let's try it, because at some point we got to get back to normal. So that's that. I'm happy. Orange Cassidy in front of a fucking live crowd is gonna be hot as fuck, dude. It's gonna be amazing, dude. So that's that. Daly's Place. That's the other news. I mean, we're just gonna run down the rest of this shit, honestly. Then you had WrestleVotes. They said that, and we're gonna get to the Becky Lynch stuff. WrestleVotes they're reporting about SummerSlam. WWE is looking to have a SummerSlam to be the official kickoff as a return to touring. With that said, if things work out a certain way, the pay-per-view might even be earlier than usual. I've heard 3 to 4 locations are on the table, with one having better odds than the others. I was predicting July, but motherfuckers are telling me that Extreme Rules are in July, so I was like, but then I realized that WWE loves pay-per-views, so don't be surprised if you have 2 pay-per-views in 1 month, as SummerSlam being in July. So I wouldn't be surprised about that, to be honest. I really wouldn't. 2 things about Becky Lynch now, if you guys were wondering. And I know you guys, you're gonna be like, real one, this is ringside news. I mean, come on, you know better, but I mean, would you be surprised any other way? But ringside news is reporting that exclusively that Becky Lynch inked a new deal with WWE. We were told that this was quietly done a few weeks ago. So Becky Lynch signed a new contract. I don't doubt it one bit. And even if her contract was expiring, she didn't sign yet, she will be resigning no matter what. I mean, where's Becky Lynch is not going anywhere. She's in a good spot with WWE. She's, so wouldn't be surprised there. And then also, there was also another article, because I looked up Becky Lynch in the news to see how accurate it was or whatever fuck. And another ringside news article popped up, and it said that Becky Lynch has been spotted to be training for her WWE return. So, don't know how true that is, but I thought I'd let you guys know. I mean, it's almost guaranteed that Becky Lynch is returning soon anyways, so it says that she is coming back. It looks like that she's training for this. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed what you saw in this video. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the notification bell on. And see you guys for the next one. Later.